I think if we're truly honest about ourselves, that, I mean, how do you find honesty about yourself? How do you know when you're honest? Without a controversial, contradicting, straight thinking mind that appears to not think consecutively and consistently and straightforwardly, and always the same, always juggling about, you see. How do you know when you're honest with yourself, you see? You have to look very simply at the core of your body, not your being. Let's not use this being, soul, spirit, consciousness, religion stuff. The very core of your existence explains to you very, very simply what you feel. There's a central nervous system at the base of the spine that appears to be in the stomach, the navel. It appears to be, just below the kidneys, and that curve of the spine. So let's take a moment to look there. What's my curve of my spine saying? What's my nervous system saying? What's my navel saying? What's my sacral saying? Whatever you want to call it, solar plexus, whatever it is, whatever name you give it, what is it saying? I just want to be honest, original, and present. I want to be kind. You see, it will go on itself. You won't have to think through your brain what to say next. It will go on. I want to be kind, compassionate, meek, giving, pure, loving, stable, moving. I just know that being alive has to be something worthwhile. It has to be something that mind cannot make out of. Mind cannot make a story out of it. It cannot say, what are you worthwhile for? What does this worthwhile mean? What is it you have to do? What is it you don't have to do? What is it you have to seek? Where is it you have to go? What is... No, I just know life is worthwhile. I feel I am worthy to be here. Worthy. Not as a man, not as a object, not as a soul, a spirit, a mind, an ego, a reptile, flesh and blood. I just feel worthy. This I has to feel worthy of being here. I mean, the power. When the power is taken from the brain, when the power is just allowed to sift through the throat, into the heart, down the chest, down the back of the spine, down into the belly, you see the power of this stomach. You want to call it your stomach? How powerful is your stomach? I mean, some athletes or some football players, they have 6 packs. And they have muscles, they have packs within the 6 packs. And they know about power. They know when someone smacks you in the stomach and they don't flinch. But this power is much more flexible. This power is much more kind, much more giving, much more needful. Needful to be, loved. Why should a body not feel loved? Why should a soul not feel loved? Why should a being not feel loved? Why should an ego not feel loved? I have nothing more to say about spirituality and Christ and consciousness and God. If you cannot take what they give you and feed it out to the universe, whether verbally, practically, lovingly, imaginatory. I mean, the imagination is so much power. Can you imagine? Imagine now. Seeing so much joy in your children's life. Next time you see them, they'll be laughing. Guaranteed. Feeling good today, Dad? Don't know why, just am. So the imagination is, I mean, for goodness sake, I used to be a BT engineer. I used to be a whiz kid at fibre optics. Have you seen a little glass fibre and how much signals travels down that little glass fibre? Narrower than a hair. I don't know how much it was then, 30,000 bandwidth, whatever it's called, or whatever, 30,000, voices. And you don't believe that your thoughts can make a difference. Wi-Fi, Wi-Fi everywhere. Yeah. Oh, the conspiracy say, oh no, yeah, but you know what? They're sending signals into our mind. They're reading our thought processes. They're doing all this. Well, why don't you do the same then? Why don't you use your imagination, your thoughts, to send kindness, to send, love to wherever it is you want to send? You'll be disappointed if you try and change the war in Ukraine with your thought. For goodness sake, even a Wi-Fi signal cannot change that. Even a verbal shout from an American president or an official from China or Russia, they cannot change with a thought. We have to take the weapons out of action. That takes a long time to get that messages across, and that has to be done physically. Don't try and change the world. Don't try and change whatever is, This is the hoax. Put your thoughts into all these people that are suffering in this particular state, in this particular country. Put your thoughts into your dog, into your husband, into your wife, into your children, into your grandchildren. Put your thoughts into that what is, so close to you. I have a great explanation of what I am, you see. Let's say I am a light. They say you are light, okay? So let's look at the torch. Let's look at the torch. When the torch shines from the bulb, it leaves the face of the torch in a cone-like. So anything close to the torch will be seen pretty clearly. But as the cone-like light fades into the background, it becomes fuzzy and then beyond that, dark. So this light, don't try and imagine the farthest away light projection changing the world. Just there's people around you. So many people around. You see? Even the aura, even the spiritualists tell you that the aura disappears into the universe and becomes a bit, weaker and, faint. But the power of being in a human form presence with that incredible auratic light, it changes lives. This mind's not saying any of this is true. This mind's not saying, we have to be, very factful and look at and organize and how we're going to do this and how we're going to do that and become a Reiki master and heal and then do this and become Christ and walk on water and all that stuff. No, it's much more simpler than that. And just be kind. Be kind to yourself. Love yourself. I mean, someone said that to me prior to this awakening. I said, I do. I haven't got time to love myself now. I've loved myself so many times before. It's ego. I don't want to love myself. I want to put my love out I want to do it for all the other people. But it wasn't true, you see. It wasn't true. How can you put fictitious, a torch with a really weak battery? How far is this cone going to get out? It's not even going to change your life. It's not going to change the person standing you's next life. You can take enlightenment and you can take awakening and you take and realize and have experiences of godliness and Christ and Buddha and revelation and insight and all that stuff. But if you're not present with what is going on, not with meaning, not with judgment, not with measurement, not with valuation, not with assumption, not with, just be present, and the universe will shift. And you say, I don't believe that. You just says I can't shift anything in the cone from the outward torch, but you're not shining outward. You see, when you think you're shining outward, you think something else is to do it for you. You think the light has to do it for you. When you're shining inwards, there's no escape from you or the light as the same source, the same light. And therefore, any person that you want to have an effect on within you, they cannot escape within you. You see, they're always there. You see, that's the power of the mind. When you say my parent has died and I'll never see them again, what nonsense. What nonsense. Your parent is inside you. Channel the love inside. Channel the kindness inside. Channel the, whatever it is you want to channel it inside. If you want to channel hate inside, channel hate inside. Boy, you'll get some satisfaction, I'll tell you. But when you channel it up to your head, and when you channel it out, and when you channel it to the one that you want to hate, they go, what the hell are you doing? Is that all you can do? Is that the best? Is that your best shot? Channeling means, I didn't understand Reiki when I was training to be a master, in the sense that, I thought I was channeling light through me and out of me to help someone else. Distant healing, Yeah. What was the symbol for distant healing again? Seiheki, no. Tekemayo, no. No, I can't remember. It's a big word anyway. No, you have to channel yourself first. It has to go through, the Reiki has to go through you first. Within you. It's of no use. If you think, oh, I'll just get it out of me really quick and put it in that one. No. Keep it there for a moment. Keep it there. Cleanse the mirror of your heart and you will see God. That's what Neem Karoli Baba says. Every night we cleanse our mind, our brain. We get up in the morning and we don't cleanse our heart. We don't cleanse our core being. And eventually it gets blocked up like the earwax in your hearing aid. And you say, oh, that's just, awakening over, enlightenment over, have to go back to being a suffering old git, This is not poetry like Rumi. I don't know anyone that sees God that can come up with something poetic or something powerful. God nullifies all the ego, all that what tries to make something out of it, because that what tries to make something out of it doesn't come close to it. God and consciousness as one simply is. So when I'm in presence, I simply am. If God is simply is, I simply am. Am and is same. Different spelling, different flavour, different technique, unique. God is slightly a bit higher, yeah, of course. I don't know what else to say. I'm not coming on this facial, egoistic, sitting in a looking at a device anymore. This is the best it gets. Really, if you want to be true and honest and genuine, what effort do you have to make? Which path do you have to follow? Which mindset? Which thought? Which game are you playing? Are you playing the game of me, the person, the poor one that's trying and hardest, and I believe I am good and great? Or am I playing the meditator, the practicing saint, the monk that I want to be, the Christian? If I read the Bible, I'll be great. I got a comment recently from someone who says, he said, fed up of people just reading the Bible. See, the Bible has been misinterpreted. If you go into the words, if you go into the experiences of the authors, if you understand fully what they are trying to portray, that words make a little bit of a mockery out of it, then you'll fully know Jesus. And you'll know what Jesus means. And you know that Jesus suffered. So why the hell should we suffer? He says, I suffer for my children. But we have to go through this. Oh yeah, we have to be Jesus. We have to put ourselves on the cross. We have to make martyrs out of ourselves. We have to, self-harm. We have to put crucifixes on our body into two forms. We have to show the world, look, I'm a Jesus follower. Jesus is following you. Why? Because you're going in the wrong direction. Keeps tapping you on the shoulder. Come here. Look inside. Here I am. Kindness, compassion, genuinity, honesty, truth, trust, acceptance, and faith. Do you have faith in me, says Jesus? Yeah. Don't have to look far. Just have to be yourself. And I will show you the way. I used to think when mid-enlightenment, holier than whole, boundless, infinite joy, Sat Chit Ananda, great, non-dual, allness, this profound light, with a being in the soul that is pretty much evident in that state. It thinks it's great, this is great, everything is going its own way, everything is unfolding, everything is beautiful, everything is blissful. But the mind says, well, so what? So what? So what? So what? What's going on, So you're beautiful, you're great, you're infinite, you're boundless. You're touching everyone's hearts, yeah? You're doing it secretly. So what about your body? Sitting out, doing nothing, not even walking, just wallowing in this exquisite paradisal love. So, that's great for you. You see the world as non-dual. This is your mind interrogating the enlightened state. And mind has a right, because mind has been, working hard from the minute you took on board this mind. You don't get mind, you take it on board as a child. You say, okay, mind is there, I have to take it. Yeah, I want to use you, mind. I want you to do things for me. I want you to get things for me. I want everything, on a plate. And then enlightenment says, bye-bye, mind. And mind's standing there, so, oh, great for you, unemployed now, That's what you want. Are you going to get off your butt and put into practice rather than wallowing in self-pity, in self-love, and self-awareness? You actually think, well, I thought, I don't have to do anything now. I don't have to do anything. I made it. Yeah? Okay, God says, not today. What is it you call it? That catch-22 situation? When you actually meet that what is the most ultimate and it doesn't accept you. It's not denying you. It's saying, hey, job to do. And you sit and you wallow and you get them down to ground and you say, yes, this is great, this is wonderful, I'll just, see this life out. And all the time mind is representing God now, ego. Yeah, you've a job to do. Get off your ass. Yeah. Do something worthwhile. Paint. Do stuff for your family. Make some cash for your partner. Go on holiday. Do all the stuff that other people do. But make sure it's done with no thoughts about it improving your life, because your life has been improved. So now is the time to surrender. Now is the time to surrender. Truly surrender. The practicalities of your life, the wondrous things in your life, your fancy bike in the garage, your fancy car. It's still there. You can ride it anytime you like. But look around you and see. Look around you. Don't encourage enlightenment. Make them feel worthy as a human. Can you do that, Mr. Popsi? Can you make people feel worthy as a human? Then you're doing the work of the physical Christ. Yeah, the spiritual Christ, yeah, wonderful. No, not many will experience that. Not many will touch and taste the relationship we have with that Holy One as a being state, as a spirit state. Yeah, great, wonderful. Yeah. So what's next? Yeah? More sitting in videos, more preaching, more pointings. It's getting stale, is it? Yeah. You don't have the certificates. You don't have the qualifications. And they don't like you for that. So what? Tough on you, Mr. Popsi. People are driven by words. Some people are driven by status. But most people are driven by those that get out and do something that really changes other people's perception and their human existence. So what the hell are you going to do with it? Yeah? All the questions about seeing through the questions, all the who am I's, all the how can I be seen? Can I be seen? Where am I looking from in this? What? All that wonderful, great. Yeah, you met God. Boost. Oh, your ego is so full. You know God, yeah. Some people believe, most people have some sort of high hopes that there's something, and you know. So what do you think this God wants you to do? Yeah? Go and do this sermon on the hill like his son. Go in church and stand in the pulpit and preach and pray. Or are you going to get your little fat ass into action? Become the kind one, you see, the kind motivator. The kind, get yourself in order. People reflect what they see. If they see something that they think is worthy in their human existence, then you'll get some respect. If not, you'll just perish in the emptiness of the Buddhists and the Vedantas. You were born physical. You were born as a grounded earth being. You tasted universal stuff. You tasted the cosmos. You tasted the Big Bang. You tasted how the earth was created, how the universe was created. No one's listening. See, no one is listening. Because each one wants to do it on their own. And while they're doing it on their own, they're having a great time valuing people. So the person is back, whether you like it or not, Popsi. What are you going to do with it? You see, I can take that because it's the truth. I can wallow in science, I can wallow in physics, I can learn the art of philosophy, I can become a psychologist. For what? There's enough of them, thousands of them. And what are you going to find? That what you already know. So you know the other side, you know what is coming, you know about all the spiritual and godly and consciousness stuff, but what about today in the world of earth? What about it? Loads to be done. Not about changing the world when you die. It's about changing the world when you live. Having an effect. The effect of consciousness is having an effect on itself as the world. Go into the world, Popsi, and see for yourself how difficult it was to discover anything, even to get on the list for a little house. It takes 2 years in today's world. Oh, it's all wonderful for you. It's all bright lights. But put your name on a council housing list. Do you think they're going to knock at the door the very minute you do it and say, "Oh, this is the great Popsi. He's so good"? No, you're going to be at the bottom of the list. Join the queue. That's the way humans do it. Ignore it and wallow in your bliss, your contentment, or look around you and see the poverty and the pathetic ways that some people live. Can you change them? Just change one. Just change one, other than yourself. See what it's like to be unenlightened again. See what it's like to be depressed and stressed. You don't have to experience it, but look around you. There are millions. Change is happening on its own, yeah. But you better be there to pick up the pieces and put them back together and straighten them up and put them back on the right track. Please, just do it for me.